So what are your first impressions of Boston?
Cold. No, it's I've been here before. We were here for one of my first games I called was actually here, a long time ago. Luke Kuechly was here, so I remember coming. Then we came for Harvard Yale, which was really cool. But no, it's been fun so far. I hadn't been here too long, but it's been good so far.
And what makes this matchup so compelling?
Well, it's one of the last chances we think Clemson has of slipping up. So I think, people that are cheering for their teams to get in the college football playoff, and there'll be a lot of teams that will be cheering hard against Clemson. And Boston College obviously proving what they've been so far this season. I think people are going to look at them and go, are they for real? They're 17, top 20 team in the country. Can they prove it against the second best team in the country? According to most people.
And what are you expecting tomorrow during the game day?
I think it'll be an awesome team. I mean, just cool backdrop right now by just looking at the set behind us. But I expect it to be a good scene, and Boston College a good opportunity to prove the fans of how good they are. And they're not just New England Patriot fans; they're Boston College fans too. So.
You say the weather's cold today, but wait till
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be.
Advantage Boston College. I'm 100% serious. If the weather's bad or sloppy and cold, and Clemson's not used to that. I mean, that's a good deal when you got a passing attack like that. Y'all's passing attack ain't setting the world on fire regardless. So I think anytime you have bad conditions like that, kind of even the playing field a little bit would be a slop it, slow it down, let AJ get 5 yards here and there, set 10 yards, run the sticks, and hopefully get some 3 and outs. And listen, Trevor Lawrence hadn't played a lot of road games. If you can have some adversity for him early, maybe make a few big plays and make something good happen.
I don't know if you know, but crowd size, you think they're going to fill this place up?
I cannot predict the crowd size. I do not know that.
Right.
What's special about this Boston College team and the season they're having so far this year?
Well, it's been fun to watch, but it's kind of what you've expected from Boston College over the years. Just physical, tough as nails. When AJ's healthy, it's just a lot of business decisions are made on the field. And when I say that, a lot of linebackers have to come up and go, do I really want to hit that? Do I want to hit those legs and thighs? Safeties coming up, making tackles. I think offensively they do a really good job too of scheming and doing a good job of making corners tackle and making safeties tackle him, and double teams at the point of attack to make sure you get the big guys out the way a little bit to make sure you get him running downhill, because he's special, and that's the biggest thing. You watch both number 2s and you're like, oh, well, those cats are really, really good. So, but it's what you would expect. I mean, blue collar, hit you in the mouth. When your quarterback plays well and can play good, I think this offense can be really good. When it plays bad, it becomes an average offense.
Trevor Lawrence has never been with Virginia for a game. So what do you think that him just coming up to the Boston College being documented is going to affect him and their passing attack?
Well, if he hasn't done it, I don't know if I can say definitively he's going to suck at it or he's going to be good at it. I think it's going to be, how does he look? I think he'll be fine. If this was a month from now or a couple weeks from now, it might help y'all even more when it's freezing and you can't feel your hand. But listen, he's on a tear and they're on a tear, and you can see why the switch was made for Clemson. You can see this offense has now changed, and it's more potent than it's been in a long time. And they stretch the field, they make you play all over the place, and so it's going to be a tremendous challenge for Boston College's defense to keep him off balance. Listen, you got to hit him, got to keep him frazzled, and limit Etienne. Etienne's been great. People don't talk about him enough. Travis Etienne's been awesome all season long, and it's funny. I was looking at the 2 running backs, and they're both great running backs. Very different styles. One's kind of make you miss, electric, dynamic, speed, and the other one is big, strong, break tackles, physical. And I think the weather mixing it up makes Clemson maybe, I think, a little bit more beatable.
What does Boston College have to do in your mind to try and pull the upside?
I think they got to run the football. They got to eat clock. That's number 1. And I don't know if they can do it. I mean, if you go back and watch the tape last year, it was a close game in the 4th quarter, and then it ended up being a runaway. But they didn't run the ball effective. Dillon struggled big time. I think 2 really decent runs. I watched the game again last night. It was 2 good runs probably. Clemson hyper aggressive. That's what Boston College has. They have to have a passing attack. I mean, Dude, they ran corner blitz a ton last year in this game, and they're going to do it again. They played man coverage almost every single snap. They stunted, they moved up front Clemson's defense, and it's going to be the same. So can you make plays down the field in the passing game? That will decide whether this offense is going to hump. You got to run, yeah, but you ain't going to run on that defensive line consistently. That's a bunch of adults. I mean, you can double team them, they can still split it and make good plays. I mean, they're so good up front. So if you can't pass the football, it's going to be a long night.
Earlier this week, Steve Dazio said his Clemson team might be the best team he's ever seen in his career. Do you think it compares to the 2016 team that won the national championship?
You know, it's different because they're just kind of hitting their stride. You know, defensively, I think they're better now in the front 4, 5, 6, 7 than they used to be, but I don't think they're as good in coverage as they've used to be, Clemson. I don't think they're as good at corner and safety. But they're good. I think Trevor Lawrence isn't Deshaun Watson either yet. I think he's a bigger, stronger version of Trevor Lawrence right now as Deshaun Watson as a freshman. You know, Deshaun Watson was a skinny, slight-built freshman when he was first starting, and then once he got older, he got thicker and better. So I think Trevor Lawrence is ahead of schedule with that. But I think they're good. But I think Adazio also wants to pump them up a little bit more and tell his players how great they are. But to me, they're the second best team in the country, and it's Alabama and Clemson and everybody else. So Dabo wants to put everybody on the rest of y'all bus or whatever he said. But it's those two teams on the buses together.
When you watch AJ run, are there any NFL backs that you like to?
All right, that's a good question. There's not many backs that size. I mean, he's pretty thick. I would say more like Michael Turner back in the day when you had those big old thighs that you had to tackle. But he's fun to watch, man. And last year you watched him and you were like, wow, that's really good. And this year you're like, hey, dude's special. He's got some gifts. And I think that was the reason coming into the season that you go, Boston College had a chance to be really, really successful. Now listen, he's been banged up and still played well. But just the ability to make people miss, and being hurt a couple weeks ago and still breaking tackles like he did, turning negative 4-yard runs into positive runs. It's special. It's a gift, and he's one of the best in the country doing it.